Hello YouTubers and welcome to another Doctor Who action figure review. For today's review I shall be taking a look at the Two Doctors collector set, which is part of the B&M exclusive range for this year. So the packaging, if you've been watching my reviews then you know that the packaging is pretty much the same as packaging like what we've seen on the 7th Doctor set. We have the three figures displayed inside the box and there's no backdrop or anything like that, and it tells you what this set is. You've got that nice gold sticker on there as well, and just looking at the sides you've got the TARDIS there, you've got more images of the figures, and you've got the images of the figures at the back. So overall pretty simple packaging, but it works quite well, and unlike the 7th Doctor set, you can actually see much more of the figures which are in this set. I did comment in my review of the 7th Doctor set that the Cybermen which were displayed in the box, they looked a bit too tall, sort of like the heads were cut off because of the design of the packaging. But here you can see much more of the figures, which is quite a delight. So that's the packaging, very nice. Now let's take a look at the figures outside of the box. And here are the figures outside of the box. So we have Peri, the 2nd Doctor as an Androgum, and the Sontaran. So first off, we're going to go through this from left to right. So we'll start off with Peri. Now, this version of Peri is an amalgamation of the previous Peri figures that we've had, which were the Varos version, the Attack version, and the Caves of Androzani version. She's wearing the same blouse which was seen on the Caves of Androzani version. I'll just give you a closer look. You can see like a ton of different colours have been put into it to sort of match what Peri wore in the Two Doctors. The lower half of the figure is very similar to the Varos figure. The arms are a little bit huge, and they've been pointed out quite rightfully by Batman March. I never really noticed it at first on the prototype images, but actually having it in hand now, yeah, they're a little bit big. They chose different arms for this to try and replicate how she looked in the story, because for the majority she had her sleeves rolled up, because this was of course filmed in Spain. She's also wearing the headband, which has been nicely painted on there. It's just painted pink with blue dots on there. So I've got to say this is a really nice figure. I've always preferred the head sculpt, this head sculpt of Peri, to the Caves of Androzani head sculpt. It matches Nicola Bryant's likeness more, I feel. Having a look at the back, you can see more of the pattern on her shirt. So overall, very nice paintwork on the figure. She's also been painted in a darker sort of skin tone to give that impression that she's tanned quite a little bit, seeing as this was filmed abroad in real life. Articulation wise, it's pretty much the same if you've owned previous Peri figures. Head can do a 360-degree turn. The arms, biceps, elbows, and the waist, legs, knees, all of those are points of articulation. So overall, very good, and to be honest, it is another welcome variant of Peri, and it's quite interesting really, because I actually now have more Peri figures than 6th Doctor figures, so I would really like if B&M would release more variants of the 6th Doctor, including like a big finish variant, because I missed out on that in the 13th Doctor set. And speaking of figures that I missed out in the 13 Doctor set, I also missed the Two Doctors version of the 2nd Doctor. So here is sort of a re-release with a few differences. Obviously, of course, he's still got the grey hair, but the main difference is he now has these ridiculous orange eyebrows, and I'll be honest, I always thought it looked ridiculous. It looks ridiculous in the programme, and it sort of looks a little bit ridiculous on this figure, but in all honesty it does the job, so I can credit Character Options for doing this. It's also another variant of the Second Doctor. Of course, if you have the Second Doctor from the 13 Doctor set, this does look different to that figure, so it's really a win-win really if you've got that figure or not. Once again, very nice sculpt, same sculpt that has been used on all of the Second Doctor figures that have been released. Obviously got a few differences with handkerchief, shirt, bow tie. The trousers, very nicely painted, all of the checkered patterns and everything like that. All in all, very nice sculpt. The shoes painted brown, and articulation wise, again, much like Peri, same as before. So head, it hardly moves, but it never ever did, like with all the Second Doctor figures I've ever had. The arms, the biceps, elbows, legs, knees, waist a little bit, all of that, there is articulation. So overall, quite a good figure to have. Nice added bonus to this set, and nice if you haven't got the Second Doctor from the 13 Doctor set. So yeah, I'm quite glad to have this. But the main highlight of this set has to be the inclusion of this guy. It is, of course, Stike The Sontaran. Now, this is a brand new head sculpt, never ever seen before. Never ever seen this character ever released before by Character Options. So, if there's a reason to get this set, then it is definitely because of this guy, as well as the two variations of existing figures that we've had through the years. Looking at the head sculpt, it looks very much like the character from the two Doctors, Stike. Nice sculpting of the hair and the eyebrows and his little goatee he's got underneath there. Of course, it doesn't look as good as characters like Lynx or anything like that, but that's fine, because for some reason the Sontarans after that never really looked as good in my eyes. But I think that the figure really captures everything great about these Sontarans. It's really good. Even the ears, you know, everything about it looks good. As for the body, it is pretty much the same as what we've had before, once again. So if there is anything that's been reused, it's the body. The only brand new aspect of this figure is the head sculpt. But overall, very good head sculpt. The body, there's a few differences, such as the scanner device here, been painted differently to match how it looked on screen. This bit has been painted silver. You've got like a checkered pattern of silver and grey going on there. The bits of armour that are like around the elbows and around the knees and the feet and all of that, they've been removed, and instead they've been like painted over. That's because these Sontarans in the two Doctors, they didn't have like any armour plating on the elbows or anything like that, which I suppose the actors would have been really glad about, because, you know, it was in sunny Spain and these suits would have been absolutely boiling. So what Character Options have done, they've painted it with bits of silver and bits of gold to make it look like how it is. Of course, it's not completely accurate, but if they did a bit more retooling, then it would have cost a bit more. So I can understand why Character Options did this. But I think for the most part, they do get away with this. I think it adds variety to your army of Sontarans if you want to army build, because, you know, in essence, this armour looks different to the armour what we get with like the other classic Sontarans. So we've had Lynx, we've had Styre, we've had Commander Store from the Invasion of Time set, and this guy, it's really great to have him. Never ever thought we'd get him. Of course, as well, he comes with his helmet, which is the only accessory of the set. Very nicely sculpted. Yeah. Basically, looks very much like the helmets that you see in the Two Doctors, and you can just plop it on his head. For some reason, it can be quite difficult sometimes to put it on, but in the end, you can do so. I'll just leave it like that there for now for the sake of this review. But you get the idea. You can put the helmet on and you can take the helmet off. Of course, I display the figure with the helmet off because I want to show the Sontaran's face. Now, there was another Sontaran that appeared in the Two Doctors, Varel, so I would be very open to seeing a figure of that at some stage, because then we could have a complete set of all the main Sontarans from the classic series. But for now, I'm dead happy that we even have this figure, because it's just a figure which has been sought after for years. Many people wanted it to complete the set, and finally we have it after so many years. So overall, definitely worth getting this set for. Really good figure. And that is my review of the Two Doctors set. Overall, I think this is a very good set. Definitely one of the best sets to ever be released in the B&M range, so I definitely recommend that you get your hands on it if you haven't already. Thank you very much for watching, guys. It's been a pleasure as always. Take care, and I shall see you next time. Cheerio.